Hi, my name is Charles. Thank you for listening to the premiere edition of Northern Transmissions featuring Chris Chu of the Morning Menders. Hope you enjoy. Yes, and that was the Morning Benders with their track Excuses off their brand new Big Echo album, which was released by Rough Trade. I had the opportunity to sit down with Chris Chu, the lead singer, songwriter from the Morning Benders, who are right now passing through town opening for the Broken Bells at the Commodore. And I asked him what it was like to sign with the prestigious label Rough Trade.
And the reason we signed to Rough Trade was because they were the most excited about our record of all the people we were talking to. So there was never that dynamic of us like kind of, I don't want to say not grateful, that's the wrong word, because we were grateful, but it wasn't like we were indebted to them or something to, I don't know, to live up to some expectation or something. It was like a mutual kind of appreciation and love. And like all that stuff you're talking about, the history of the label and all that is just kind of icing on the cake, you know? Because at the end of the day, it was like these people that we met, and like Jeff, who's the owner of Rough Trade, and this guy Steve, who runs it, who's the manager, that just really responded to the record, and like we met them, and it just felt right, you know? And ended up being a great fit.
I asked Chris what it was like working with Chris Taylor of Grizzly Bear, who produced their latest album, Big Echo.
It was, the idea of approaching him was more daunting. And this goes back to a couple of years before when I just like sent him a note saying how we liked him and liked his work. And when he wrote back saying that he liked our songs, that was at that point, like, some of the tension was relieved, you know? Because it's always like just that first exchange you have with someone that you've never met before.
Right.
And once he like responded with all this positivity, and we met, and it was like all good vibes, and we got along and could communicate, which was important. The rest kind of just fell into place, and it was natural. We actually recorded the album ourselves before we got involved with Chris. And then when it got to the point where we brought it to Chris, it was a lot of just like kind of figuring out where things fell into place and kind of putting the puzzle together, you know. But a lot of the ideas and the like you're saying, I guess the drive to be creative or try something new, that was all like something that we've been doing for ourselves a long time, I guess.
I hope you're enjoying our interview with Chris from the Morning Benders. Right now we're going to feature another track off their latest album, Big Echo, on Rough Trade. The name of the song is Cold War.
This is Chris from the Morning Benders. You're listening
to Northern Transmissions. Next, I talked to Chris about his musical influences and how they impacted his songwriting process.
Yeah, I think it was a lot of bands from the 60s and 70s. They're not a lot, I mean, a handful of them. Mainly just the classic ones that you would think. Beatles and Beach Boys and Neil Young and Dylan and Bowie. But for me, it was sort of a big deal to find those records because none of my friends were really listening to them at the time, and it wasn't being played on the radio. So it was sort of like this new thing that I found for myself. Even though I later discovered that these bands are huge and everyone knows about them. Like as a kid, it was special, and it was something that I connected with, versus like a lot of the modern music that was happening during the 90s. Yeah, my parents had kind of the tip of the iceberg, and I remember liking that music, but not really feeling like it was my own. And somewhere along the way that changed, and I remembered those songs, and I checked it out, and then I realized that was the music that I really loved, and I had to go hear it all. So then I bought every record and found more bands and kind of used that as a jumping off point.
That's awesome. Okay. We talked a bit of geography next. Seeing as the band originated in the San Francisco, Berkeley area and recently moved to Brooklyn, New York. Being originally from the East Coast myself, and this show being out of Vancouver, we talked a little bit about the differences in both areas.
There's some pretty profound differences, I would say. There's similarities, and they're both cities, and they both have a lot of those resources, that cities have and that I've come to rely on. But New York, what has drawn me to it was sort of the energy that's there. It feels like everyone's moving, everyone's trying to get something done and working towards something, and there's just a lot of passion there, and you find people that are passionate, and just to me it's really inspiring, and those are the people that I want to meet too, so it's perfect. It's not even like one or the other, it's more just like I spent my whole life in California. I feel like I know that vibe, and I've lived alongside it for a long time, and right now I just wanted to change. I don't know if it's going to be where we're going to stay put, but yeah, right now it was attractive to me to try something else.
That was Pleasure Size, a really nice song off the Morning Benders' latest release, Big Echo. And next we talked a bit about Sirius Radio and their impact on the band and indie music itself.
I actually don't have Sirius, so I couldn't say whether it's worth it, but I know so many people that come up to us and tell us that, we heard you for the first time on there, so I have to endorse them.
Yeah.
Because of that. And I mean, just from what I've heard, there's amazing specialty radio shows and stuff on there that sound really cool, and FM radio is kind of not so great, so.
Towards the end of our chat, I let Chris do some pandering about his favorite road city and our mutual love of food.
Favorite road city?
Favorite road city? Well, I really love Vancouver, actually, yeah.
Awesome.
Well, yeah, I like the food. I'm always looking for good food.
You enjoy so you like sushi?
Yeah, I have some waiting for me, actually.
Oh, you do? Okay, we better wrap this up. Okay.
Yeah.
So next question was favorite food?
I'm all over the place, man. Anything good. But we are really into food, so we kind of plan our tour and plan our hotels and that stuff around places where there's good food. So
thank you very much, Chris.
Yeah, no problem.
The rest of the tour.
Okay, guys, thank you very much for listening. I hope you enjoyed my interview with Chris from the Morning Benders. I'd like to say thank you also to producer extraordinaire Andy Kallstrom. And we're going to close this out with the track I Was Wrong off the Talking Through Tin Cans album, released in 2008 off the Plus One label. Bye-bye.
Cover it up just to stay on your feet.
Hi, this is Charles, and you're listening to Northern Transmissions. I recently had the chance to sit down with Oliver Ackerman from A Place to Bury Strangers about 30 minutes before showtime at the fabulous Cobalt in Vancouver, BC. Thanks for listening. Hope you enjoy it. That was the Fix the Gash in Your Head off A Place to Bury Strangers 2007 self-titled release on Killer Pimp Records. I asked Oliver what it was like playing with one of his biggest musical influences, the Jesus and Mary Chain, at Webster Hall in New York City.
We heard maybe that we're going to get to play with them, and then we found out that we definitely were, like the day before or something like that, so it was like, holy shit. That was, for me, it was mind-blowing, just the event of what was going on. That was really awesome. Being a big fan of the Jesus and Mary Chain and having the chance to do that was rad. It was, the Jesus and Mary Chain were just okay. It wasn't as good as, times I've seen them when I was younger, but, it was still cool. It was awesome.
We talked about playing with a different variety of bands and how sometimes tailoring the set list comes into play, seeing as that Place the Buried Strangers is played with tons of acts from everyone from Brian Jonestown Massacre to MGMT. So I asked them how different crowds affect their live performances.
Well, definitely we try to kind of, we always write our set list probably like 5 minutes before we go on, and it's sort of like kind of playing the show to what we think sort of the vibe of what's going on would sort of kind of fit. I mean, maybe our idea of it is kind of different than what other people would think. Sometimes if it's a mellow show, you really want to fuck shit up, and that might not be. It's not like we're necessarily going to try to like fit or cater to a particular band, but maybe you're at least aware of what's going on and where you're at, and what kind of sort of show maybe it's about to happen. I mean, because you really want to ultimately just get into it and have as much fun as you possibly can. So if you can kind of like gear that set to doing that, that's what we're trying to do. So
here's another song from Place the Buried Strangers. The song is Deadbeat off the 2009 Exploding Head album from Mute Records.
you're a pretty tech savvy guy. Like, how much do you miss? You must miss working in the studio a bit when you're on like long runs on the road. Do you miss that? Or?
Sure, definitely. But you know what? It's like it just kind of makes it that much more exciting to go back and do things and stuff. And that's kind of inspiration for constantly being excited about everything that you're doing. I think, if you spend too much time at home, then you kind of get a little bit of stir crazy with what's going on there. Not so much as in New York, but and then when you're too much out on the road, you want to kind of go back at times. And so it's kind of inspiration. Like you have all these songs that are going through your head and all these ideas that you've kind of come up with on the road and you want to try out when you get home. So yeah, there's that kind of stuff, but that just keeps life exciting.
Hi, you're listening to Northern Transmissions. I'm talking with Oliver from A Place to Bury Strangers. And we talked about his business of, I was going to say side business, but it is actually a major business, Death by Audio, who manufacture effects pedals for the likes of Trent Reznor and Bono of U2.
Was Trent Reznor, was he happy with his pedals?
Yeah, very happy, because I made him he wanted one kind of as a trial, and then he was like then he was like, I want a duplicate of that exact same pedal, and then he was like, and then I was telling him that I could do all sorts of other crazy things, and he was like, go nuts with another one, and I did that, and he was psyched about them all. And then I think he even like in Los Angeles even found out about me by going to maybe some stores and slowly buying like one effect and then another, and then I think he has them all, and that stuff. So
it wasn't like a word of mouth thing. He just basically stumbled upon your gear, like he was into music, and.
I think so. I'm not sure exactly. I think it could have been because one of the stores that we have, I think it's in Los Angeles, says that Trent or whoever his tech guys are or something go in there a bunch and talk to those guys. So maybe they suggested it. I'm not exactly sure. But,
it's pretty impressive. Something to be proud of, right?
Exactly. It's ridiculous. I can't really believe it at all,
awesome.
But that's cool.
And did you charge Bono a little extra? I was just like, because I know you did some stuff for U2.
No, they just paid normal price, and
really?
Yeah. So
you're too nice. You should have policed that guy.
Oh, nah, whatever. It's okay.
Cool.
But that was cool too. They ordered more pedals as well, like duplicates, I guess, because maybe they like to have, I don't know, maybe backups of everything that they probably travel around with. I'm sure, those bigger bands do, like, even like Nine Inch Nails, they had, some really crazy expensive, beautiful mixing board, and then they had the backup right next to it, So I think at any time at a drop of a hat, they could like hit a button and it would like, be the second crazy board, Yeah, totally.
The show must go on, right?
Exactly.
You're rolling out a tour like you do.
No, sure, yeah, definitely.
You're grossing $300 million in like 6 months.
Something like that, yes.
Yeah,
whatever. I mean, it makes complete sense, If you can afford to do it, you want the show to be as perfect as you can have it, so.
That was A Place to Bury Strangers with In Your Heart off the Exploding Head album. And you're listening to Northern Transmissions. Next, we talked about attending the prestigious Rhode Island School of Design.
The experience there is amazing. It was fantastic. It was such a good school. It really helped develop like a really strong work ethic for me, and just like learn so much about design principles, which kind of have to deal with the principles of designing anything, as well as just meet tons of amazing people who were such great inspiration and have really good teachers, and just like I think college is really important, especially one where you get excited about it because it's so inspirational for you to want to have dreams and goals and hopes in your life, and that's the best thing.
On a lighter note, we talked about being proclaimed the world's loudest band.
I mean, it's silly, really. It's kind of funny. It's like it's not very, not too much of an impressive thing. It's kind of almost a dumb thing. I think that's even what it was like in Spinal Tap, the movie, isn't it? Like the loudest band or something like that, So it's a funny thing. So I don't see what's so honorable about being loud. It's kind of dumb. It's like
You say it with a bit of a smile on your face, though.
Yeah, no. I mean, I think it's funny, So whatever. I mean, anyone can say anything they want. That's cool. So some people I know who I've talked to definitely are like, oh man, I heard you guys were the loudest band, that's so cool, and so if it gets kids excited, that's fine, whatever. Yeah.
Here's another track from the world's loudest band, A Place to Bury Strangers. It is Keep Slipping Away off Exploding Head.
this is Oliver from A Place to Bury Strangers, and you're listening to Northern Transmissions.
Mute Records seemed like from their history, great fit for you guys. Like bands, I mean, they have bands like in the past like Can and Wire, I guess more modernly like the Wires. Like how did the marriage come about between you and
they had just, been coming to shows and then kind of like said that they were interested and really interested in the band. And then, I'm always reluctant to do anything, but just like meeting with those guys and stuff and everyone. We met with the offices in the U.S. and the offices in London. And, of course we're big fans of their history, that without a doubt. But, you just want to make sure that you're working with good people. And Mute is the kind of label where it's like everyone you're working with are just awesome music lovers and really cool people that you would want to hang out with anyway. So it was just like perfect. It just seemed like such a great thing, So, I'm used to working with small labels and I always like working with someone who's like really excited to put out the record. And, Mute's like the same way, except you're working with 12 people who are excited to work the record or whatever, as opposed to one dude in his bedroom who's excited.
That's awesome.
It's awesome. It's fantastic. Yeah, totally.
And they're really like music lovers as well.
Oh, so much. It's so awesome. Yeah, totally. All those guys are always going to shows and not even have bands that are on their label and stuff. And, you can have just great conversations about all sorts of types of music and everything. It's awesome. They're a fantastic label.
Cool, yeah, because, there's a lot of parallels, like with your sound, with the bands they've had in the past, obviously.
I'm a big fan. What can I say? Yeah, so sure.
Awesome.
Yeah, it's amazing.
That's great. And the creative control, you guys basically, do they give you mostly free rein to do
whatever we want? Yeah, totally. The thing is though, which is awesome, but it's like we're always limited so much with time because of partially from touring and everything, so you're always scrambling to do all these things. I wish sometimes that we had the time to spend more times on things, but it's like whatever, you kind of got to finish things at times as well too, but it's like, sometimes you're not always insanely psyched about everything that goes out, but it's, whatever, it's still cool. It's amazing to be doing what we're doing, and if I probably had it my way, we probably wouldn't release anything, and so it's all better to have a little bit of a push for things to happen, so...
Thank you for listening to Northern Transmissions. I hope you enjoyed my interview with Oliver from Place to Bury Strangers. As well, I'd like to thank producer extraordinaire Andy Kallstrom as usual on the deck here. And yeah, we're going to leave you with the track I Know I'll See You. Thank you and enjoy.